Being a pioneer was not an easy life by any means. It was extremely demanding, dangerous, and rough. Pioneers were the first people who settled in the western reaches of the United States. These people generally consisted of American colonists as well as European refugees. By looking at the Eno family letters, we can see that it is written by his son, Henry Eno, to his father. Henry addresses his father by saying, "My dear father," and this demonstrates his love, admiration, and respect for him. Through the context of this first page of the letter, the audience can assume that Henry had just moved away recently. He is starting his new journey and wants to share his experiences with his father. It was during the early 1800s when the first migration was taking place. Since this document was dated in April of 1833, one can guess that Henry Eno was part of the first migration. Pioneers traveled by steamboats through the Ohio and Mississippi rivers and eventually ended up in Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, or Illinois. Life was tough during this century, and people had to work really hard to build a good life. Most males were hunters, farmers, or carpenters, while females took care of children and harvested crops. Although life was almost unbearable, it fostered independence, self-reliance, religion, and a strong sense of community. Henry Eno considers where his family is to be the place he still calls home. Before he can visit his family, he wants to start up a business. Pioneers worked hard, which resulted in poor health conditions. And during this time period, there were no such things as doctors or medical care, so most people would have to improvise. Some people used homeopathic mechanisms, but any serious injury or illness usually meant imminent death. So when Henry heard that his family was healthy, he was very relieved. This time period was not only a critical step in expanding the United States territory, but was also a time for optimism and an important part of identifying America.